following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. It's baseball season. New York Mets. Robert Cole and Marty Rose, the hosts. How are you guys?
Good, Ralph.
Good. Are you guys both excited about opening day?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get excited about it, but watching these exhibition games with the silence, it's hard to get into.
Are they going to put a soundtrack of the crowd in on the radio? I'm just curious about that.
I don't know about on the radio. I think they're going to do it, in the stadiums.
In the ballpark.
Right. If the radio picks it up, that's fine. But I don't even know if those guys are working from home or working from the ballpark. I don't even know where they are. I don't think they're even going to be in the ballpark.
They're not going to be on the road. I think some of them are going to be in the ballpark at home. But most of the teams that I've seen, they're not going to go on the road with them.
Yeah, so they'll be calling games from watching it on. They'll watch it on TV and call a game like that. It's crazy.
And the official scores are off-site as well. So this is crazy.
It's going to take getting used to. It's going to take getting used to because, like Marty, I tried watching it. Very difficult to watch. I'm trying to watch the Yankee game tonight, Yankees and Phillies. They're letting teams have 4 outs, batting out of order. It's crazy. So, you can't even follow it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the most interesting thing I heard about baseball all day is that Fauci is going to throw out the first pitch in the Yankee-Nats game.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
I think that's a nice sign. Sign of the time. It's nice of baseball to do that and acknowledge his greatness, because without him at this point, there is no one to lead us in terms of any sort of coronavirus, the head of it or anything. It's nuts. Hey guys, break it down for us tonight. My voice is shot. Start with you, Robert. You take the pitching staff. Marty, you take the position players, if you will. Robert Cole, Marty Rose, best Mets podcast on the internet, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. Go, guys. Have a great one.
Well, this is going to be difficult since it's hard to make heads or tails of anything yet. Pitching-wise, of course, you got, Jacob deGrom. Stroman will probably be the number 2. Matt's the number 3. It's hard to say who 4 and 5 or 5 and 4 is going to be yet.
Yeah, probably be Waka and Porcello. The order really doesn't matter,
Yeah, well, most likely be that way. Porcello was workmanlike the other night. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs.
Yeah.
Did kind of what you expected, from him.
Pretty much.
So, it's the relief pitching. The relief pitching is going to be what makes him or breaks him, I think.
Yeah, well, that guy Strickland looked good the other night. He was a pickup this year that wasn't there before. Outside of that, I guess Betances is another one that wasn't there before.
Right.
Hopefully he's healthy. I think he is. But the rest of them, we've seen them all before, and we just hope that they can be better than they were. although, Lugo was great last year. Hopefully he can, keep it up. But some of these other guys, like Diaz and Familia, especially, you got to hope they get their stuff back together.
Yeah. The other night, I don't know what happened with Diaz. I mean, he gave up one hit, got one out, and they took him out. So, that kind of, had me scratching my head as to why they did that.
Mm. Yeah, all I could say is they don't want to overwork guys. Just get them a little game ready. Get as many guys as they can. So it's a crapshoot. The bullpen's always, Lugo can be a complete bust this year. The way bullpens go, great one year, stinko the next. We've seen that a lot in the past from big names. So
yeah, and it's so important to get off to a good start this year. I mean, that first 10 games, at a minimum, you have to be 5-5.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule, and they got 6 games with Atlanta in the first 10, and 4 with the Red Sox. Hopefully, the Red Sox aren't as good as they've been. Supposedly, they're not. They don't have Mookie Betts. The manager's gone. The general manager's gone.
Right.
So, they should be more down to earth. But, Atlanta's going to be tough. Although Markakis, it was an interesting thing where Markakis is not playing because he opted out of the season. And then they were going to sign, the guy from the Dodgers let go. I'm blanking. But,
yeah, and he got the virus.
He got the virus. When I saw that they were going to sign him, I'm saying, whoa, that he's just as good or better than Markakis, And then he catches the virus. So, but Atlanta's always tough, always, and there's really very little weakness in this schedule of who they're playing at all. I mean, there's like no weak links. Even Miami isn't bad as they were, I don't think. So. Yeah,
the only good thing is, of course, everybody's got the same schedule. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's
the Braves, the Phillies, so.
That's true.
But it is. You're right. I mean, the National League, other than the Marlins, is every team, is tough. You go on the American League East side, other than
Baltimore.
The Orioles, every team is tough. I think the Blue Jays are going to be tough this year. So
if they find a place to play, that's crazy.
I know. Right now, the Pirates offered their stadium to them,
really?
And I think that's what they're going to do.
Wow, that's really nuts, unbelievable.
Yeah, because Buffalo is their AAA team, but their lighting system isn't Major League.
Yeah.
So.
That's an old ballpark.
Yeah. And their only other option would have been to come down here to Dunedin, and Florida's number 1 in virus. So.
Oh jeez, yeah. No, not good.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, as far as the starting 9 goes, I mean, nobody seems to know what's going on with Wilson Ramos. They're saying it's a personal issue, and they're not saying what it is or how long it could possibly be. So that's a big negative starting off, because all they got is Rivera, Nito, and Ali Sanchez. That's it. So I haven't heard anything about when he might return. Zero.
Right.
So, and as far as the the starting players, I mean, I think McNeil will be out of position at third base. Cano's 37 now. I mean, he hasn't had range in a couple of years. I guess Smith, Nimmo, and Conforto is going to be the outfield. I guess, and Cespedes the DH for most of the time. And the way they've been running the lineup out there, Nimmo has to lead off. McNeil cannot lead off because Nimmo will take pitches. McNeil's going to swing at the first pitch, the second pitch. He's got a bat, no higher than second. And God, I can't figure out, and everybody is saying this, not just me, everybody. What is this business with batting Cano third? Is it just Brody? Is it in his contract? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The guy is old, and he's just not that good a hitter anymore. I don't get it.
Yep, you're right.
I mean, outside of that, the lineup is decent, especially if, Cespedes is anything like his former self. J.D. Smith, Nimmo, Conforto, Rosario, Alonso, McNeil. I just hope Ramos isn't out too long because that will hurt the catching position offensively, if nothing else.
Right.
And as far as bench players, I'm not going to worry about the bench players that much. They're going to have a big pool of guys that they could switch off whenever they need somebody. So, that shouldn't be too much of a worry.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't know. I just like I was saying earlier, I'm having a hard time getting into things. It's just not exciting with silence. I just I can't get it. I can't get into it so far. Now maybe when it starts for real, maybe I'll feel different. I don't know, but right now I'm not very excited about this year. That's pretty much what I got to say about it.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. Just if you go back to the starting pitching, I mean, seriously, outside of DeGrom, I mean, I don't think that much of Stroman. He's okay. And as far as Matz goes, I think we've seen the best that he's got. And he's not going to get any better. He is what he is. And those other two guys, Waka and Porcello, are definitely 4 and 5, and not that strong of a 4 and 5.
Right.
So 60 games. I think they'll be lucky to play 500 ball. In this division.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly,
That's why I say, if they can get through the the first 10 games and be 5 and 5, I would be very satisfied.
Yeah, I think so. They got any more exhibition games before. Well, their first game is Friday, right? So yeah. So I don't know if they're playing anymore because a lot of teams start for real Thursday.
Yeah, they're not. The Mets aren't playing any other exhibition games.
No, it was just those 2 games. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So I guess they'll just play inter-squad games until it starts. Then just to get everybody in the mix. Must
Right.
be what they're doing.
Right.
So. All right. Well.
It's definitely, but I agree with you. I mean, it was very difficult to get into either one of those exhibition games.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, when it gets for real, it'll be a little more exciting. I was very disappointed in that game that was on ESPN the other night. I mean, those two announcers.
That was horrible. It really was.
Yeah, it was. It was like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, obviously they weren't there. And
no.
Besides that, all they were doing was making jokes and chatting, talking to guys on the phone, not paying any attention to the game at all. At least the second game here was on MLB, and they had the Yankee announcers on. I think it was Michael Kay and somebody else.
Yeah, Michael Kay and David Cohn. They're doing it tonight also.
Okay, well, they at least followed the game, and they announced it like a regular game, which was good. But still, the silence, it just it just doesn't seem real. And they could pump whatever they want as far as sound goes, and I'm sure they will. Maybe if they do that more often, it's pumping hand clapping or Let's Go Mets, or I assume they're going to do all that. If they don't, then it's going to be sleepy time really.
I hope they start doing that. I mean, the Yankees, just very plain. I'm looking over that on the screen right now, and looking at the empty stands and stuff. It's just very eerie, very eerie.
It is. I know. It's just it's completely different, and all I can say is, I guess if they get off to a good start, you'll be more into it. At least I will, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but if they don't...
Yeah. Well, look at last year. You and I were starting to watch $1 Million Movie instead of the games.
Well, last year, we were all 3 of us predicting 84 or better wins. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that.
Yes, we were.
Yeah. And, it was, at least it was a decent season. We watched all the games, and, we were into it, and they were alive, most of the season, a good part of the season.
Yep.
Almost to the end. So that was fine. But it's just going to take something extra to get me into it this year. Like I said, I think I mentioned that I canceled my MLB.TV, got my $120 back. They're offering the season now for $45 if you want to do that. If you canceled before and now you want it back, they're $45 for the 60 games. But I don't know. I just don't know. I still got the $3 a month audio, which I'm sure they'll have games on, national TV. They'll be on Fox. They'll be on MLB. They'll be on ESPN. And if
Right.
they're not, I'll have Howie's radio call. That I have. I've always had that. So, but like we said, if they start off good, I'll pay attention. If they don't, I have to do this podcast. I'm going to have to, do a lot of research to even know what I'm talking about, because if I get turned off, it's going to be hard to watch these games. It really is. So.
Yeah, Ralph throwing us out there tonight was kind of tough.
It was. It was. There's not that much to talk about yet,
No.
So,
but
yeah.
Just all I hope is everybody stays healthy.
Right.
Right. On all the teams, injuries is one thing, but I don't want to see anybody getting sick with the virus and then going through one of the teams. I mean, that would be just awful.
No, we don't want to see that at all. No. So, all right. Well, we could go on like this, but I don't think there's any reason to continue this conversation until we have some games under our belt. So we'll check with Ralph.
Bring us back next week, Ralph.
Yeah. Next week we'll have something to talk about for real.
Yeah, either talk about or bitch about, one of the two.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Robert.
Marty,
we'll let it go.
All right, stay healthy, my friend.
You too. Hopefully we'll talk next week.
All right, sounds good.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.